Hey all, welcome back to Riders Republic. I'm Insetic. With me again is Blank Tester
Hey kids, how's it going?
and Turo.
Hello.
Once again, we're, resuming the bike career. We're halfway through, and so 8 more events, starting with Chapter 17. Event 17, Burnt Rubber.
Damn.
Burned.
Are you gonna burn your rubber with the jet that you have strapped to your back?
That's the funkies. I didn't want that, so we're going back to the regular. But before we go there, first we're stopping off at this landmark. These are also kind of scattered throughout the landscape, and they're pretty cool because again they reference how this map is based off real life areas and real life things, and so I think it's just kind of a cool thing. Like if you search Amphitheater Point here, I'm not quite sure what will come up, but I know it's real. Kind of just adds more realness, again, to the world. Like I really like that, how these trails and such, sure they can be arcadey, sure they can have big air, sure all of them are mashed together and whatever, but again, it feels like they did their research and...
Yeah, no kidding. I have a stock photo that just came up of Amphitheater Point, and the mountain lining actually lines up really well.
Yeah, I see that rock.
Yeah, that's nice.
So I wonder if, I don't think any of us have... Well, you kind of drove out west, but you drove more southwest.
Yeah.
But, if anyone in the comments or whatever has, done some kind of vacation trip to any of these national parks and...
Yeah.
Yeah,
if any of you guys out there have taken a journey to the mystical land of Colorado, just let us know.
On our, because we moved earlier this year from Oklahoma to California, and we loaded up a big RV. I'm more explaining this for the viewers. We loaded up a big RV and drove all the way, and along the way, we didn't stop for it because the weather wasn't for it. But there was the Petrified Wood National Park, I think it was called, that we passed by, and it made, just seeing the sign made me think, man, it'd be so great to go on, a road trip and visit all the national parks. Imagine having, a year pass and just being able to take to the road and do that. That'd be so fucking cool.
Yeah.
It'd be so great if my wood was petrified.
Okay. I was trying to appreciate nature for a second, and now I just have to appreciate hard wood.
Yeah.
You don't have to appreciate it.
Well, if I see a boner, I'm gonna appreciate it.
Oh, okay.
That's why anytime I see a boner, I always say thank you out loud, even if the person can't hear me.
Yeah. Thank you for your service.
Right, yeah. Standing at full mast, and I'm looking at porn on my phone, and I whisper to the phone, thank you. Yeah. Because I see a big old thing.
He's at full mast, you're standing at full attention.
Yeah, I'm standing at full attention.
It's only fair.
I'm at a 3/8 chub, and I'm saying thank you for your service. 3/8.
Yeah.
Congrats.
That's it.
Yeah.
3 3/8, like you'd find at a hardware store.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
At least it's not a quarter inch.
Pulling dicks right off the shelves.
Mm-hmm. And something screw.
Right.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Screw in your 2x4.
So how much exhaust comes out of these rocket wings?
4.
Oh, geez, we don't think about that.
Yeah, right? Imagine if, as you played the game, everybody used the rocket wings, smog became a problem and all the snow melted.
Oh, jeez.
And it's you're also
think about your choices, man.
Yeah.
And then
this
you
is
gotta,
definitely the
get
game
carburetors installed on your rocket wings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, you're taking off in these forests all the time. You're bound to start burning one.
See, this is.
Yeah.
You boot up the game one day and half the trees are gone.
I was talking to a friend about the game Spec Ops: The Line, and I played it a long time ago, and I enjoyed the game but he really, really didn't like the game, especially the white phosphorus part. Which, if you've played the game, you know what I'm talking about. You probably know if you know the game, but the specific problem he had with it was that it's there's a certain amount of like false equivocation going on when you try to be like, soldiers make decisions in war that are bad, and you as a gamer make choices in the video game that are, like, it's like, I am just playing a video game. Nobody said I wanted to do violence to anybody just because I'm playing a game, and the decisions I make in a game are not because I think that it would be okay to do in real life. So it is sort of a false equivalence to suggest that there's some, whatever. And that would be the same kind of thing, I think, if they made the environment change based on how much everybody used Rocket Wing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I know we all need to care about the environment, but we are playing a video game. Like, this is not educating me in any way.
Right, we've talked about how, like, extreme sports games are the most, like, non-political games.
Pretty
those
much,
people
yeah.
who are like, I miss when games didn't have politics in them, like Metal Gear Solid and Fallout, and it's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
What the
How
fuck
did you
are you
literally
talking-
pick the worst examples?
Yeah.
I don't know, go back to SSX Tricky. There was no...
Yeah.
There was
I
no
guess
anything.
there was an active roster that would be woke these days, but...
That's true, actually, yeah.
I don't know, it's not like Sia is going to bust an Uber trick and talk to you about carbon emissions.
Yeah, all art is political on some level, because all art is about making a statement that may not have been made before.
Yeah,
Right,
and I mean,
so,
it's
like,
also, everything is a product of its time and the social...
Yeah, that's true, too.
For example, I was actually going to bring this up anyways, but remember in American Wasteland where there was that, like, whole storyline of missions about, like, how much unions suck or something?
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember if it was a whole storyline, if it was a joke during one mission about, like, you, like, causing a mess, and it's like, they have to pay us to clean it up anyways, we're union! Oh, it's
Yeah.
time for our union-mandated break. Can't
Right,
do anything
they made a
about
couple
it now.
of union jokes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure the game developers who were non-unionized then, who made those jokes, really love the jokes now.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Right, as they're getting their fucking balls crushed in trying to add BMX and driving to
and then
the games
afterward,
and ship them out in under a year.
As soon as the minimum viable product is shipped out, they're all fired. They bring in a whole new team of people to patch. They're all fired or hired as contractors. It's great. This is ideal.
Yeah.
So, okay. So did that automatically switch you?
Yeah, it automatically switched me.
Okay. So if the symbol appears, okay, there we go.
Nice.
Yeah,
Man,
this
I don't
is
know how I would
interesting.
aiming. This looks weird because like you're so much lower on the screen than I'm expecting.
I don't remember.
Like I'm
messing
expecting
with
you
this.
to be kind of center screen and your parachute to be out of frame, I guess.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
actually,
this-
it seems like they centered it around like the center of the model.
Yeah, this was definitely something where I was glad that I had prior paramotor experience. Not in
real life?
life, of course. No. But I make it work. You see that, yes, it's fidgety, but I make it work.
This was also they didn't have a paramotor, but they had the paragliding in Steep, and that was definitely my least favorite part of that game. It's not only is it like clunky and weird, like inherently, but it's also like hard to make extreme. Like
That's
it's
true.
gonna be the
Yeah.
slowest thing you do, pretty much.
Yeah, and it's not like
it's
they
hard
can
to
add
convey the sense
fricking or
of
something.
danger.
Yeah.
Again, I feel like we haven't really done a lot of comparisons to Steep, but that's probably because, like, I picked bike racing, which Steep didn't have. I'm sure once we get over to the winter sports side of things,
The
we'll have more
comparisons will be
comparisons. But, like, Steep's, paramotor or something was, again, where you had to just, like, ride the wind that was on the sides of the mountain, and so you had to stick to the mountains, and they didn't give you just, like, a fan on your back where you could use it to, angle up or angle down or do whatever at any time.
So if you, I mean, I don't know how I feel about the paramotor thing. It just that just
I've
I don't
just
know how
sort of
much
had
I feel
a
like
thought.
it fits.
It's chill, but maybe not right to put in an actual event.
I was actually
Is
sort of
where you're
thinking the
getting with
opposite.
that?
Yeah.
I was sort of
You think?
thinking the opposite because it's like
As a
This
break
is a game-
from the intensity.
this is a game which, at its base level, is about different methods of transportation.
Yeah.
So, outside of events, you're probably just going to choose one or two. Like, as a method of traversal, what I'm saying is basically as a method of traversal, the rocket wings are just far superior. And the paragliding outside of specific events designed for it, like, no one would really do it.
Yeah.
So, like, it
Yeah.
just has a better
I mean,
alternative.
can you teleport across the map?
I kind of tried to buck the trend, and once again, like, there are people way more creative than me. I mean, you go look at, like, Jimmy Crux, you know, Riders Republic Best Clips of the Week, and you see people doing freestyle stuff all over the place. You know,
that's kinda
whereas with me, it was more like just getting from one event to another event. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not super creative in terms of, you know, what I do between these sanctioned events, which is why, for me, the best part of the game is getting through all of these. And then when I've gotten through all these and it's just time to do my dailies, you know, that's when the game sort of stopped. But,
Yeah.
so if you can be that kind of creative that can get something out of, like, trying out the paramotor and doing that on your own time, you know, that's only more value to you.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm just-
So,
I mean,
can you
this is
teleport
probably-
Can you teleport to other events, like the starting point? Like, can you like pull up the map and just teleport over there?
You teleport to basically fast travel stations. I mean,
Yeah.
every time I go to an event here, you see me teleport to the closest one.
Yeah, because then that means there's three fast movement styles. There's obviously teleporting to the station, but then there's rocket wing, and then there's paragliding, and paragliding is the chillest of those. So I feel like it would be cool if there was like some kind of camera mode, maybe, right? Like where your character has like a camera in universe and you're gliding along and you can take photos or
I
something
mean,
of
that
like the
does
environment.
exist.
That could be kind of
Can
cool.
You use it during the paragliding though, because there is a camera mode.
That's what I
know
mean,
there is.
right?
Yeah.
But like, if you used it during the paraglide, that would be kind of a cool way to integrate it. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just.
I mean,
just,
yeah.
Someone
you see-
we just passed a person who was using it, so
yeah.
or
You
I guess
see-
that would have been an AI. So
You see, my method is, you know, travel to the nearest fast travel. If it's more than a kilometer away, or if the terrain looks sketchy, I just rocket wing over. I'll
Yeah.
try and ride over if it's closer, you know, but... Oh, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't want these videos to take too long.
that's
yeah.
true. Yeah.
I mean, just this may be more of a me thing, anyways. But I am just having. I'm having quite a bit of difficulty thinking about something cool that you could do via paragliding. Like, I mean,
think
with the
maybe if we had experience actually paragliding, there would probably be a lot of
that's
ideas
also what I was
we'd
gonna
have.
say.
But
Is that like, yeah,
you know,
I feel like
we're just not experts on
paragliding
it, so.
in real life would probably be a lot more exciting than it would be in a video game.
Yeah. What if every time you got on the paraglider, birds just started attacking you, just like hundreds of birds.
Oh my god.
Huge flocks of them coming at you.
That would
And,
be
like-
annoying and not fun.
It turns into a fighting game. I don't
Yeah.
know, what if you threw sick combos at the birds?
That could be fucking cool. Like, unstrap yourself, fight birds, the thing is still gliding without you while you're, like, falling through the air, and then you land in it again and you do something, you know?
I think the
That'd
only
be
way
crazy.
that would be like remotely enjoyable is if you were doing sick combos, but it would have to be like its own like full-fledged mini game where you like hop out of the seat and like get on top of your paraglider or something.
Okay,
You
how
start-
about this? We make it 2D. We make it 2D, so it's like side-scrolling, and it's just like a game on its own. We don't make it part of this game. It's just like its own game where you're like paragliding and you've got to like fight birds or whatever, and we call it Angry Birds.
You know, I'll one up you.
I like
think
it.
we should. I think it should be like a phone game that is emulated in the game itself. Like, you know how they used to be able to do that and stuff. Like Animal Crossing has NES games. NHL
Right,
06
yeah.
had a SNES game inside of it.
Homefront had all of Time Splitters in it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I forgot
all
about
of
that.
Time
I forgot
Yeah.
about that.
Oh man, That was so
Yeah,
good.
you gotta stop what you're doing, or in the middle of one of these careers, you pull up the emulated game,
Yeah.
and, like, you have to do well at it. It's like a Donkey Kong 64 kind of thing, where you have to do well at it and get, like, the trophy for beating it.
What if it just kind of throws you in? It's just like at the end of the event, there's a possibility for you to get bonus currency, bonus points, whatever, and it suddenly throws you into the minigame, and you get one shot at it, and then it's just over, and you get, like, a certain number of points based on how well you did. And so, like, you don't get... It's not like a thing you can choose to go into. It's just the bonus thing at the very end. You
It's
know,
like a bonus
little
stage,
minigame,
like from a NES
and it's
game.
like, ah, shit. You know, the first time you play it, you're gonna do really bad, but like as you get better at the game, you're gonna play it more, and you're gonna be like, okay, I better be ready for the bonus game. You know,
Yeah, I think like triathlons, decathlons, or whatever should have video games as a part of them. Like,
Yeah.
imagine you've just swam the English Channel, or whatever, you make it to whatever side you don't start from, and then you get handed a Game Boy and you have to play Kirby's Dream Land.
Can I just say, I'm glad you specified who you get to the side you don't start from, because it'd be really shitty if you
Right.
started in France, swam, you get to the beach, and you stand up and nobody's there, because everybody else got to England, and you're still in France.
Right, somehow
You just
you made it
swam
back
along
to
the
France.
shore, and then
You
ended up
swam.
back in
You went to the right. And you
You went to the right when you should have gone left, and you just went parallel to the shore for a while, and then went back inland.
I'm the kind of guy to swim halfway through and then get tired and go back.
Go back. Yeah, I don't think I can do this. I gotta go back to France.
But yeah, you get handed a Game Boy, you gotta play Kirby's Dream Land, and then only after that do you finish that and get to the biking section.
Right. I think that's cool. Maybe like just a boss battle, like they just throw you in, or maybe like it could be like a fighting game.
Yeah.
Like you gotta fight Siegfried in Soul Calibur, and then you beat him, and then you're like, okay, now it's time for the skiing portion.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we've all stuck our heads together and found a way to improve Riders Republic by making
How
it a
it-
different game.
Well, we're not saying make this game a different
Just
game.
add
I'm
an
saying-
entirely
I think-
different game
No, we're
onto
talking
it.
about forget this game. Who cares about this game? We're talking about
Yeah.
real life decathlons, right? Like in real life, there's all these
yeah.
athletes. You know, they do the swimming portion, they do the biking portion, they do the video game portion, and then they do this thing. You know,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, that would be crazy.
Yeah, wouldn't that be wild?
I would love that. That would be great. You know, it's something I really wish we had gotten to see while we were in the desert. We passed a meteor crater, and it was raining too much for us to see. It was the same day we passed the petrified forest. Oh, Joshua Tree.
That's
but,
the,
yeah,
that's
I
the
don't-
U2 thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what it's famous for.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No one would have heard of Joshua Trees if you two didn't make that album.
Yeah.
Yep.
Even they invented it. I
Yeah,
believe
they
the
made
tree
it
was
up.
named after. Yeah,
They
just
planted
made it
them
up.
in their honor.
They knew a guy named Joshua Tree, and then
yeah.
Oh my god.
yeah, then somebody yeah.
the
whole
rest
thing.
is history.
Yeah, you know the rest of the story.
My name is Joshua.
Joshua Tree.
Joshua Tree.
Good
So okay,
But yeah, your meteor crater.
yeah, Meteor Crater. I wanted to go see it, but I mean, you can see pictures online. It would have been too foggy for us to really see the whole thing. But man, it is so much bigger in person. Like we drove up to the edge, and I could see the building, and then it just kind of extended into the distance on the left and right. It was fucking crazy just seeing the edge of the thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Like the wonders of the world that I never see because I stay inside all day.
Yeah, exactly. You know when they say touch grass? It doesn't have to be grass. That's the thing I learned on this road trip. It actually
you
can
can
be
touch
basically
dirt?
anything outside. You can touch dirt, and that's still very, very nice.
Did you touch rocks?
You know what was really fucking irritating, though? On the first night we were RVing, I wanted to see stars. So we parked the RV in an RV park that was, like, really remote. It was literally, like, three 3 RVs space, and that's it. Like in the middle of a bunch of fields, no streetlights. Only one car passed in the middle of the night. That's it. That was how desolate it was in the middle of, it was in Texas. I think it was Groom, Texas. Anyway, we went to this RV park, and I wanted to see stars, and that night I stepped outside, and one of the RVs that was parked there had their exterior lights on for the entire night. So no matter how much light pollution I got away from, they had their lights on, so I couldn't see shit.
Damn.
Oh. Yeah.
It's okay. Now where I live, there's there's streetlight ordinances, so a lot of these streets don't have streetlights, and so at night it gets really, really dark, and the stars are nice.
Oh, so you ended up being able to see them.
Yeah, not as many as I would have liked, but still more than I saw in Oklahoma. And we're also like 5 minutes from the beach.
I'm trying to think of like a Streetlight Manifesto joke, but you know what? I'm off my game.
Streetlight?
Like,
What's? Oh,
yeah, it's a
okay.
band. Yeah, ska band from like the late 2000s.
You know what? I should have known it was a ska band.
They just have that name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Streetlight Manifesto. That sounds like a ska band. Yeah.
That sounds like some high schooler's poetry.
Yeah.
About
Something about
streetlight
walking-
ordinances.
Yeah.
Or
well,
just like they've learned big words and they've learned that you can be poetic if you connect big words and concepts with common things like streetlights.
Yeah. Use a metaphor.
I don't know why
of
I'm
a-
shit talking Streetlight Manifesto. I don't know any of their songs.
They're pretty okay.
Yeah,
I'm
sure
I'm not a
they're
ska fan
fine.
anymore. But they're pretty good. They're
Really?
pretty well liked
Yeah,
in their
the-
scene. I'm fairly certain.
Wait, when did that happen? When did you stop being a ska fan?
Okay, are you coming from the perspective of not knowing I ever liked ska, or you thought I was still?
I don't
into
know what
ska?
that means either. What I mean is, I always thought that if you, like, you may just kind of fade away from your, like, interest in ska or a particular genre, but you're now declaring yourself to not be a fan. Is it, like, something about the music really rubs you the wrong way now, or is it more of a...
I don't know. It's not something I really seek out anymore.
Yeah, I mean, the only ska I ever really got into was, well, Superman by Goldfinger,
Yeah.
and then the impression I get by Mighty Bosstones.
That song still fucks. That song will always fuck.
See, that basically answers my question. That song still fucks means that there is still good ska. I thought you were saying that you don't think there's any good ska anymore.
Yeah, ska's just gone to complete shit. I'll never listen to any new ska
Or old ska.
or old ska.
Yeah.
It's completely dead to me. Mighty
Imagine if
Boss Tones are
ska
still
came
fun, though.
back and was like all modern and synthesized, you know?
Oh man, synth
Didn't
ska?
Jeff Rosenstock try to do that?
I don't know.
He like
Okay,
didn't he
question.
re-record one of
If
his
you do,
albums as a ska album?
It up.
Like just an entire album
you can.
re-recorded as ska?
That's interesting. I don't know who that is. Wait, you can do snowmobiles?
Yeah?
Oh, well, he can't. Okay.
He gave up.
I'm just picking this up because it was right nearby.
Yeah.
It's a BMX bike, actually,
Huh.
Damn.
which we're not going to get to for several months or whatever.
Big fat tires. Oh,
Yeah.
Santa Cruz Urban Ride.
Yeah, we've
I
got
live.
another
I live in
sponsored
the
event.
kind of broader Santa Cruz area now, so I'm excited to see what they got going on.
So, this one's a little different to your regular downhill races in that we moved it into more of an urban setting. You're gonna be racing through the streets of Mammoth. Hey, we're in the Republic and we can do what we want, right? School lesson over. Let's hit it.
I can't believe they updated the game to include me standing there next to the race.
This year's edition.
Yeah.
Looking at this
That's
urban
great.
Downhill race and thinking to myself, whoa.
Whoa.
I only
Whoa.
just
Just
moved
whoa.
it.
Whoa, man, whoa. Hey, whoa, man.
This guy has the wildest thoughts. I mean, Rage of the Rider. Whoa, just whoa.
Whoa, just whoa,
Yeah.
yeah. That's
Also,
crazy.
yeah, everyone took a shortcut that I immediately saw as soon as I passed it, and I went, fuck.
Yeah, well,
Goober. I don't know.
It
anything about this
happens.
race.
No, I am a goober.
Yeah, a little bit of
Let's
a
not
peanut.
try to deny it.
Big old goober. I love calling people goobers now. It's very fun.
Yeah,
it's a very
I always
good
call.
word.
I call our dog a goober.
Yeah.
Whoa.
She's a good lass.
Whoa, man. Whoa. Just whoa, man.
Just whoa.
In Sedek, if you could just put an AI-generated picture of a dog on screen.
I'm good.
If you could just do that real quick. Okay, thank you. That's my dog.
Oh, okay.
Now, if you
we've
didn't...
talked about your dog, kinda.
That's true.
No, I guess not enough details for anyone to.
You
I
think
feel like
somebody's
they
gonna track me
recognized
down
you
based on
before
my
they
dog?
recognized-
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
dog.
I mean, I just said I live in the greater Santa Cruz area, and they know my face.
Okay, well, you said that while we were muted, but now we're not muted, so
No, that's okay. I mean, greater... It's,
you want to keep digging? You know,
I'm
like,
digging.
where would you go buy a shovel at near you?
What's the 3 numbers on
Home
the back of your
Depot?
credit card?
It's a 1, 2, 3.
It's not
Any other
147.
questions? Anybody need identifying information?
Indemnifying and
What's your
Indemnifying information?
What's your mother's maiden name?
My mother's maiden name is Mom.
And what year did you graduate high school?
yeah.
I didn't.
Then why did you put that
Yeah.
as one of your security questions?
Cause
To
I
throw off people like you.
I always put incorrect answers on my security questions.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Damn.
Like,
That is actually true. If you put your security questions, I mean, the kinds of people, I don't think anybody in my life would actually try to steal my identity or something, but like most of the security questions they ask are things that like most of my friends could answer. Like, what was your first pet? Like, almost everybody who knows me would know what my first pet was. So I always put an incorrect answer. An answer only I know.
My first pet was named Geraldine
Yeah. How'd you know?
because I'm your
because
best friend.
that's their life.
Yeah, well, I told you that in confidence.
Yeah.
See, like sometimes I have like just a weird fleeting thought about like, oh, if I just died, you know, like how would people know to get into my, how to get into my stuff? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, because I haven't like, I mean it's pretty obvious, but it could be not obvious. But I don't just want to just
Like, tell
write out a
people.
whole like list.
Well,
and
here's my
tell
question.
someone. I don't
What stuff do they need to get into after you're dead?
know. My computer?
Your
Yeah, how else are they
Why
gonna
would
blast
they
a
need to get
cache?
into your... I mean, yeah, why would we need to get into your computer?
Because it's got like everything we've done.
Okay,
on
but
it.
you're dead in this scenario.
Right, but like the data is still there. You
Okay,
know? Wouldn't it
right.
be nice to have?
Why would it be nice to have?
So you can go back and be
Reminisce.
like, oh yeah, that. I mean, just the other day you asked me for something that I happened to remember where we last posted it. You know.
Here's let me maybe this will explain why I have got this line of questioning. I don't think about like I used to be the kind of person who's like, oh no, all my stuff was here and I want it to stay here. Like, I had an old computer and its hard drive. Oh, I want to keep the hard drive or whatever. But I've really changed in the last like 3 or 4 years, my whole mindset about things like this. Like, if you died, the memories I have of you and the time we spent together and the things we wanted to do, all of that is much more important to me than having access to the data on your computer. And then if I had access to the data on your computer, it would probably end up on a hard drive and then just in a closet. Because like,
True, yeah.
I'm not going to go digging through those files because I already don't know what's there. You know? It's like,
Oh.
if you have 10,000 unread emails, the best, if you don't want to go sorting through 10,000 unread emails, delete all of them. Just clear your entire inbox. And you might be
do
like,
that now,
but what if I
actually.
need... It's like, but what if I need it? What if you need it? If you needed it, you weren't going to go digging through 10,000 emails for the one thing you needed. So it's basically not there. right? The number next to your email inbox doesn't indicate anything to you at a certain point. It doesn't tell you how many emails you have yet to read because you're never going to read them. You know? Like
But I
if
still
if a winning
quick
lottery
scroll through
number,
them anyway.
but but I mean like 15
No, I see.
now I think 15 years ago I deleted all the emails from my email address, and I've been on top of it every single day since then. I delete every email I don't need. And now my inbox is, at the end of the day, it has 0 new emails every single day. Because at a certain point there was emails in there that might have had useful information to me, but the fact that I didn't know it had useful information means it effectively didn't have that useful information. Right? Like, if I have an email with winning lottery numbers in my email box, and if I could find it, I would win some big amount of money. I know I'm not going to find that email, both through lack of effort, and lack of interest. I'm not going to find that email. So it is effectively the same as not having those numbers at all. My life is no different, having not looked for it, and having looked for it and not found it.
Yeah.
Right? So instead of worrying about, oh no, my email's so out of control, just take control and delete everything.
I mark them all as red. I don't delete it.
That's fine too. You can do that. Just
I-
mark
there-
everything as
there-
red.
There's also times where I do need stuff that I thought I wouldn't need. Like, I forgot.
Right, but if you don't know it's there, like if you know it's there, and you think you might need it later, star the email, or put it in a folder, or something. But if it's just thousands of emails, and you don't know what you're gonna need and what you're not gonna need, and you're gonna survive without that stuff anyway, because at some point you will need to survive without it anyway, you know? Like, if you didn't have an email address and 2 years from now, someone says, oh man, I wish you knew blank, I wish you had access to this thing. Yeah, I wish I did. Like, there's nothing more you can do about it. There's no point worrying about the what if I did have access.
I mean, that's a bigger question about, when, taking things one day at a time versus actively trying to control your future, I guess, or set yourself up well.
But that's just it. Like, I think we waste too much time trying to control our future, where some degree of control can be had over your future, but there are a lot of things that you feel you have control over even though you don't. And so, like, ridding yourself of the illusion of having control gives you more control over the things you really do have control over, you know? Like, worrying about how other people react to the way that you say something is something that grips me all the time, right? I'm like, I hope I'm saying the right words. But, like, at the end of the day, if I say the wrong words, in most situations, I can usually just apologize and move on. Or even better, not even apologize, right? Like, sometimes I say something and it's not what I meant. And then someone's like, that's stupid. And then I just move on with my fucking life. And like,
I wish I could do
instead
that.
of wasting my internal energy on trying to control what I can't control, instead, I should use my energy to move forward and try to come up with new things to say and think.
I should stop arguing with people about hockey on the internet.
See? I stopped arguing with people about religion on the internet ages ago, and it's been great. Because all these people believe in silly fairy tales, and I think they're silly fairy tales, and they take them seriously, and at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter whether or not they believe fairy tales, whether or not I believe fairy tales. It just doesn't matter.
Meanwhile, I don't do anything except live via YouTube, 1 5-minute video at a time.
I get that too,
I can't
yeah.
even fall asleep when I try to nap in the afternoon anymore.
Yeah, I get
But
that too.
I'm just a bastion of depressing things.
God, dude,
so-
yesterday I was feeling so fucking depressed because I felt like I didn't do anything. Like I feel like sometimes I just feel like I'm like a whole day goes by and I didn't do anything that mattered. Not even like mattered to other people, mattered to me, didn't matter in any sort of way. Like I don't feel like I'm doing. And then the thing that kind of brings me back, the thing that kind of restores my sort of sense of order is recognizing that, like, when you feel like you need to be carried, like, imagine yourself in a boat. You're thinking, if I weren't in this boat, I would drown, right? But understand that you are the boat and the river. We are all part of one big universe. We are all just pieces of the world. And so recognizing that I am one with the world itself kind of gives me a little bit of peace, because it's not like I'm an agent moving through a video game. I'm not a character moving through a video game world. The video game world is moving through me. You see? So because I'm intrinsically connected to the world, no matter what I do, no matter who I am or what I do or what I think or feel, at some point I'm gonna be worm food, and it's not gonna matter at all anyway. So we all kind of just move with what we've got. I mean, like, if I spend 10,000 days doing nothing, and then I die, the only difference between doing nothing and doing something is that the people around me feel things. The impact I have in the moment is the only impact that matters, right? So, like, I don't know. I've my view of how my place in the world matters has changed significantly. And the other thing I think about a lot is, I recently started thinking about this, like, I don't consider myself spiritual, because I think most people, when they say spiritual, they mean something kind of more about, like, ghosts and spirits and supernatural things, you know, that kind of stuff. And so I wouldn't use the word spiritual, but there is something I do take that take some solace in, and that I think about a lot, and that's, like, if you imagine, like, a book, right? Like, Joseph Conrad wrote Heart of Darkness. You read Heart of Darkness, and there are thematic elements in it, and you can look at metatextually what he's doing in the book, because you're like, Joseph Conrad did this and this and this in his life, and that's reflected in the work, and thematically he's trying to suggest this. You can also say, death of the author, if he doesn't matter, I'm taking what I want to take from the book. Now you can take a step back, right? Real life either has an author or doesn't have an author. And that author would be God, I guess, right? But regardless of that, you can still take metatextual lessons from real life. You can still look at it as though it's a text and understand the thematic parallels between things in your life and things outside of your life, and how those things relate to each other. And you can learn lessons just by taking metatextual analysis of life, right? So, like, if we're allowed to say death of the author to reading a book, why aren't we allowed to say death of the author to reading real life?
I'll need to think about that, honestly, you know.
That's fair.
You know.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I just think about these things.
Yeah, and I mean, like, and maybe this is too early, so, like, you know, tell me if this isn't topic, but you got a job off the back of an experience where I would have, you know, noped out of it as soon as possible, but you dealt with it, you handled it, you know, for a while, and that experience got you the job. So just like,
truth be told, I think that experience was more fulfilling to me than the stuff I was doing IT work, and now I'm going to be doing, like, in-home caretaking. So yeah, and, like, that's more akin to how I was helping a friend of mine who was disabled, and he was living near me, and I kind of helped take care of him for a while. And, like, that experience it's frustrating. It's sometimes annoying to be like, okay, well, I was doing something, but suddenly this person needs me. But, like, what's fulfilling about it is the fact that, like, I think about, like, I think I want to get into hospice care. And I told my dad that, and he was like, don't get into hospice care. Hospice, you know, end of life, helping somebody who's about to die, you know, until they're, you know, making them feel as comfortable as possible and stuff. And he said, don't do that, it's going to be too depressing. But to me, honestly, I think about it, and I'm like, I can't imagine how depressing that must be for someone else. You know, like, to take care of somebody who's in need and in hospice must be so draining for other people. I can't imagine putting that responsibility on another human being. I would rather take that on myself than put that on someone else.
Yeah, like you got this opportunity from something you had just kind of been dealing with.
Yeah.
Like we talked with Blake recently, Blackout the M&M, and he's gotten into cycling, and that's really helped him out. And so it's just like, it feels like there's very obvious things I could do, like just make myself get into something, or, like even just like I still haven't replayed Tony Hawk 1 and 2 Remake since it's come to Steam, and it's like,
it did come to Steam?
Play that.
It did. It came to Steam like a year ago.
Oh, I didn't even know that it came to
Steam. In the fall. But it's just like things that could marginally improve things that I just
I think you should, and this is something, again, you're going to need to think about and maybe find your place, but I think maybe it's not so much about forcing yourself to do something, it's about attuning yourself to the things that you already do, if that makes sense. Like, attuning yourself to what feels natural is where I find myself at most peace. Because when you're, they say, like, when your job is fun to you, you don't think of it as work. The same way, like, you don't think of a task as being taxing if along the way you are just doing what comes natural. I'm annoyed that I have to go over and help this person, but once I'm sitting down next to you, all I'm thinking about is, we're both here, and you're a person and I'm a person, and we're interacting, and you're, there he goes, there we go.
Saved it.
Saved it, yeah. Once we're in person, once we're interacting, all I'm thinking about is, well, what do you need? What do I need? What do we both need? I need intellectual stimulation. You need help with this thing. It's just what it is, Yeah. So I don't know. It's something that I don't know necessarily that a person on the outside can really see for you. You need to see it with your own eyes, and that sucks because
you
can't force yourself to see things.
Blackout would get into cycling.
Yeah, but I mean that seems like a good fit for him. He does like to drive around and see places, and if he needs exercise, cycling is a great way to do that. Honestly, I think I should get into cycling.
I'm just looking ahead, and it's the kind of thing where it's way too far in the future to worry about, but honestly, like, it is time to start doing something about, like, physical health, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I don't want to have something happen at 40 that shouldn't happen for 20 more years.
That's true, yeah.
That hits close to home. I don't know if this is true.
Golly.
But I either personal or identifying, but I have a family member who had 2 heart attacks before the age of 55.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah, it definitely runs in my family, and also a thing like that is possible regardless. So I should, and also I've wanted to get into shape because I sort of miss sports. Like
I've never. I haven't been in shape since I was a real little kid.
Right? That was one of the things I was thinking about too.
What it's like really to be in shape.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too. I was like, there are so many things that I wish I could do, and when I'm feeling depressed, I think to myself, there's no way I could do that because that would require, walking around for long periods of time or something else, something like that, right? Like heavy lifting in this specific part of the job. And it's like, that's because I'm not imagining myself as being a healthier person than I am now. I'm imagining myself as I am now, no changes, and then trying to do that thing. Well, I'm not going to be an expert rock climber today because I'm too fat to be a rock climber today. But that's not unchangeable. The difference between me then and me now is that I need to be doing stuff now. I can't just think about rock climbing and then rock climb tomorrow. I have to prepare for it. It's just, honestly, one of the things I have trouble with is I have a lot of trouble with, like, motivating myself with long-term rewards.
Yes.
I never.
Holy shit, it sucks. Trying to, like, imagine, like, okay, this is what I need to be doing now so that in 10 years I'll be somewhere else. Like, that kind of thinking I've always struggled with that. And so, I don't know.
I'm still sort of like, I'm still sort of young enough where that's basically like impossible to think about. Like,
What do you mean?
like it's still.
I don't think
still
that's
sort of
true.
like what is next is under the broad umbrella of adulthood, and it's like the next phase of my life will be like 50 years, and it's all going to be the same.
That's not true.
Which it won't be, but like
No. The thing about broader adulthood is that you think it's going to be 50 years of the same, and for the people who it is 50 years of the same, that's fine. It works for them. That's all great. But for most of us, it's like, certainly at this point in time, it's like sections of your life are different things.
I mean, hell, like, I, both at the same time, kind of knew I was going to get fired for a while, and it totally blindsided me, you know, when it did. So
Yeah.
it was like, 8 years at some place, and then the next day it's like I was never there, I mean, that's not true, but
that's how it felt.
That just
yeah.
leads into, what I'm talking about, like, phases of your life, formations of your life. Like,
Yeah.
it can just be different and change,
Yeah. And that's, I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's lots of unknowns. Holy shit, this is like...
Yeah,
this
anyway,
feels
I'm
like a
ending this
straight
video
road
out
that
by
you're
This
just
is
like
cool as
flying.
hell.
Yeah. I'm doing my own thing.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. Legendary.
Legendary.
That was cool as hell.
Yeah. Any final things before the video wraps up?
That was cool as hell.
I had an idea for like a sci-fi story. Imagine this: there's a new form of insurance, but only for the super rich. And what it is they install nanomachines into your brain that analyze your thoughts and then store your subconscious so that those nanomachines can then be put into a poor person's brain so that it can infuse their future behaviors with your subconscious in a way that only feels like them thinking. So they don't know whether or not what they're thinking is caused by your subconscious or their subconscious.
Wow, and it's
Kind of like Cyberpunk.
It's like you don't actually know that a rich person really thinks better things.
No, they probably don't think better things than you. You're probably a worse person afterwards because of the subconscious that's been planted on you. It's not like a second mind talking to you like, hey, you should do this, you should do that. It's just like you have this impulse to do this thing, and you're like, I didn't have that before the surgery or whatever.
Damn.
Yeah. I might write a short story about it.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. Anyway, next time, we're finishing up the bike race section of Riders Republic, the first career, so join us then.
Woo!